Yeah.
Hey y'all.
All right, yeah. All right, yeah. Ciao. All right, yeah.
Yo. No. And what is up? Hello, everybody. What is up? I see that Vibrant Law has stopped in earlier. Let me read the comments before I start, you guys. But what is up? Do you know? Hey, maybe you fell asleep. Actually, no, I didn't. I ran into life, you guys. So I'm doing a whole bunch of things. And in my message on my community board, it said later or something to that effect. Later. So I didn't specify. I just knew that I would get on as soon as I could. And I ran into all of these problems. I have a new device. So StreamYard was not set up as I thought. And so I had to do some things with that just to be on here. Hopefully I'll get the clarity that I'm looking for. Okay. It is good to be back. I was definitely looking for those that are in the not just in the clouds. I love you guys up in the clouds, but also those who fall into the chat. Okay, so if you up there, please do that. Know that you're invited. Okay, you can always come down and engage. And that this is actually what I wanted, engagement. But you guys, I ran into a live that Queen Ken had, my daughter. He did a live um talking a whole bunch of untrue shit. Okay, just to let you guys know. Nothing was factual, nothing made sense. But he was speaking about when the beef sector was popping and hitting, as if it's not now. And he put himself up there. He mentioned himself and another person. And I'm like, when did that happen? The most that I remember that I would admit that he got 1,000 one time. And from then he began calling himself the king. The term queen would have been more appropriate, but he began calling himself the let me check my earbud. Is everything fine? Why am I not hearing myself? Let me turn this up. Is everything testing, testing, testing? Am I coming through? Let me take this out. I'm not hearing myself. How about now? Hello? Testing, testing, testing. Testing, 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 testing. Testing. Assistant can't start when another app What? Testing, testing, testing. What do you mean? Testing, testing, testing. Testing, testing, testing. Testing, testing, testing. Am I coming through? Let's see. Testing, testing. Okay. I can hear myself here. Oh, okay, cool. Um, I'll be able to check afterwards to see if I was speaking the entire time. But again, thanks for joining me. So yeah, I went over to my daughter, Queen Ken, over there, and he had a little rant that he was making in live that he was speaking in. There he was saying that he was like there was a time where he was at the top of the beast, and I'm wondering like when was that time? And I believe all of this shit is for those who don't know. We have a lot of like um cross sector dynamics going on. And I'm thinking like that lie that he put out was more so towards them because I think he figured that they can't that they don't know the truth, that they're not on to what actually happened. But no, he never really was a champion in the beef sector. And a lot of people don't even consider my daughter to be a part of the beef sector simply because he was shitted out in the sector from Lady Snoop. So yeah, he comes from Lady Snoop, and yeah, it's questionable whether she's beef sector or not. Just my opinion, you guys. But yeah, he did a little rant. He had a live or whatever, and there he was talking on mad shit. None of it was true though. But he was talking about when he was ranking at the top or whatever. The beat said the shit was crazy. I'm like, what the hell is going on? He sounded like really, really angry too. You'd have thought that he lost his boyfriend, that his man walked out of his life or some shit. I wonder if he's still dating them large heavy set femme queens. But yeah, he was over there talking that shit. I can't even remember the actually trying to remember what he said. Um, yeah, but he was saying oh well yeah, at some point he rejected the B sector. It was like, oh, who needs them? But that's because like in mass, a lot of people from the B sector kind of tell the real story, you know. But when he came over here, that definitely was not his attitude, and you could tell what his attitude is. That I mean, he has like pet names for different males in the sector who are content creators who you look up to, you know, such as James, so on and so forth. James never told that boy to call him his uncle, but he does that to try to reflect on people who don't know better, some type of relationship that he's supposed to have with James, but he doesn't at all. That's just cloud chasing. You know what I mean? That's just cloud chasing at his finest, you guys. But he was over there ranting and shit like that, you know, showing the worst of his sexuality. Um, so I touched on that, you guys. Let's see. There was something that I wanted to say to an individual, and I'm trying to remember who that individual was. Okay. Um, can't even remember at that point. Um, and I should not be low. And the last thing I wanted to actually, and I'm gonna play this too. I wanted to touch on was a statement that I that I heard from Tim Timothy Blaine, who I go over time to time and I listen to, and I actually enjoy his content, what it is that he does. Doesn't it does not mean that I agree with everything that he comes to say. Okay. Um, let me see. I'm gonna pull this up real quick so you guys can hear for yourself. Let's get it. Am I here yet? Okay, I might be. Okay, we're close. Here we go. Let's get it. Hey, what is up, Southern Bell? 74. Have not seen you in a minute. Thanks for dropping in. So let's hear.
Let me see.
This is the voice of Tim Blaine.
Jay Wilson is bi. He don't want just a man. Yes, he does. He all he wants is a man. Jay Wilson is gay. Gay all the way gay. You can tell. You can say same gender loving all you. That just means that you're ashamed to say you're gay, girl. We all know what gay is. Thing in London. Oh, let's talk about something else, bro. Before I sign off.
Okay. So that's the part I want to touch on. I want to play it again, you guys. I turn it down a little. I don't know if it was too loud. And it sounds like my audio is doing good, you guys. Okay, with this new device. Let's get it.
Let me see. Jay Wilson is bi. He don't want just a man. Yes, he does. He all he wants is a man. Jay Wilson is gay. Gay all the way gay. You can tell. You can say same gender loving all you. That just means that you're ashamed to say you're gay, girl. We all know what gay is. Thing in London. Oh, yeah.
Okay. So let me clear myself. So there you guys heard it. That was the words of Tim Blaine. And so I'm gonna speak to that. And let me give a little background before I even speak to that, but I definitely want to speak to that. So my what I would like to add is I actually enjoy Timothy Blaine's content, and I'm often over there, okay, trolling and doing what the hell I do in those chats or whatever, just having fun or whatever. Again, in order for me to do that, it doesn't mean that I agree with 100% of what people say. Actually, now that I have expanded outside of the beat sector, there are sectors that I go in only because I'm supporting an individual, you guys, and I don't agree with nothing of what they say. Like I'm part of the Flat Earth community only because I guess it would be like more adjacent. I'm more adjacent to that community only because there's people over there who support me and I support them. And yeah, I was spending a lot of time in their chat listening to their ideas and rejecting it all, but listening to their ideas because of who I'm there to support. So I've learned to do things like that. I don't necessarily have to agree, you guys. So that's that with Tim Blaine. I don't have a personal issue with it, but I'm going to take issue with the idea that he said that if you call yourself same gender loving, that simply means that you're ashamed of calling yourself homosexual. That is false. And it's kind of irresponsible for him to say that too, without putting out a rebuttal or exactly reasoning. What is his reason for saying that? But I would have him know. I don't know if he's informed or not. And I'm blackly black, 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 black. And when I say that, I'm not just talking phenotypically. I'm talking about culturally. Okay, so I prefer my own. I'm same gender loving. I'm also the person who brought it to this sector, and that's where Jay Wilson got it from. It does not mean that you're ashamed of calling yourself gay or homosexual. Actually, a lot of people who identify as same gender loving also identify as homosexual and gay like myself. It just gives us the same luxuries that other groups and other demographics have, where they have more than one way of identifying. Here's another thing, Tim Blaine, and of course, right now I'm sparring with the idea, not you personally, but with the idea because I think it's fallacious. But yeah, so also, no one jumps down heterosexual throats when they call themselves straight. And the reason why is the same reason that I just covered, is because there's a thing called synonyms, you know, and when it comes to sexual identity, people don't actually have to identify by labels. They can identify themselves by things other than labels. You know what I mean? So they can say I'm more woman on woman, I'm more man on man, or I'm same gender, same sex attracted. So there's a myriad of ways that people can identify. And when it comes to male homosexuals, they do not have to be limited to just one choice of gay. Also, gay is not the original term too. And that's only been around for a little bit of time. I'm talking about as it being popular, the popular way of identifying. But yeah, also some people shy away from the term gay, and they may want another synonym, or they may prefer another synonym, and they may yeah, and gay may be at the last. So that comes with like choices. Like some heterosexuals tell you they're straight. You see how they have more than one choice. These things are synonyms. You know what I mean? And people can identify in those ways too. They can tell you I'm male on male, and that's them telling you they're homosexual. They can say I'm homosexual rather than gay. So yeah, those choices that exist with other demographics, like we don't have to police with these sexual orientation groups. We don't have to police how many choices they have to identify, so long as they're truthfully identifying themselves, and not hiding it. So no, identifying the same gender loving does not mean that you're ashamed of saying gay. And I don't know where that comes from, especially when you don't back up your statement, which is kind of irresponsible. Yeah, but yeah, when you don't back it up, like where do you get that from? That means you're ashamed. I would love to see what compelling. I'm putting the term compelling now, but what compelling evidence you have that brings you to that conclusion. But yeah, you don't want to hit other people, and you don't want to be fallacious too when you're out attacking Jay Wilson. He is not my favorite, and I shit on him as well on my own channel, in my own space. I just make sense when I speak, when I do it, and I'm not so sloppy that I hit other same gender loving people by telling them the reason that they identify that way is because they're ashamed of something, which is silly. It's silly. So yeah, that thought I'm not going. I'm not going. I don't even know where that comes from. That sounds like someone that's very much stuck in their ways. And it's also sound like an ill-informed person who thinks that gay was always the popular term, because it wasn't. And even you can go to the 80s and black demographics, even to the late 80s, where people was and 90s, where before it became mainstream in black communities, they were saying I'm in the life, and this was their way of descriptors, using descriptors to identify I'm in the life, I dib and dab, I mess with men, I'm male on male. These are our descriptors, not particularly labels such as gay. Yeah, but yeah, you would have to know the history um, of these communities. But yeah, it's not a way to run away from anything. And a lot of you guys make a fool out of yourself when y'all say, well, what's the problem? It means the same damn thing exactly. But the problem isn't the descriptors or the options that are available. The problems are people that try to limit people to one and say with the males that heterosexuals, you can do this all day. You have the choice of saying you're hetero or straight. But when it comes to them damn gay men, like no, they're only to say that they're gay. And that's oppressive and irrational as fuck. But I don't know where you guys get that from. It's a whole world out there. Like, go out there and smell the air and the shisha. Like, hug a tree, goddamn. Like, it's a whole like world out there. Like, other than like YouTube. Yeah. Like, and more and more black gay men for their own choices and purposes. And it seems to be something that grows every year. Are identifying the same gender loving or same gender attractive. I don't know why people are running around crying foul. When you admit that it's anonymous, so what's the problem? So I'm thinking like the only problem is it could be the term loving that you guys may have an issue with, and you don't want to associate homosexuals with it, which is your own bigotry and your own problem. This is what I'm thinking. If it's anonymous, or you're just pissed the fuck off that black or homosexual men get to have choices like heterosexuals in terms of the labels they identify. And again, all identify all identification is not based on labels. You can use descriptors. You can say, "Oh no, I get down with men. I'm a man who gets down with men," and you're identifying yourself. So this whole policing is silly to me. It's silly to me. It almost feels like on the spectrum when people think that they're saying something like um progressive or something, or something productive, and it's not that. It falls short. It just falls short. Yeah, and I don't have a problem with anybody going back and forth with the past at all. I do that. I do that. He actually got the phrase from myself. This is how he learned the same thing. I'm gonna look towards the chat. Let's see. Laurie, oh my God, just yesterday. Oh my God, it's just okay. Uh, how you doing, Philly T? Thanks for joining me. I do want to read the chat and not just ignore it. Okay, so I spoke to Southern Bell. How are you? What is up, Detach? It's good to see you. And Philly T, if I haven't already said it, I think I did. Now, Laurie Sullivan, I was trying to, I could see your face so clearly yesterday, and in my head, but I was trying to think of your name. I'm like, who is the sister? Who's the sister? I was thinking about you. I was wondering if everything was okay. I just had this feeling. Okay, I'll be on my empath shit. Um, some of it, a lot of it, I guess, was based on me having seen you, but I hope everything is fine. But I just thought about you yesterday, and it pissed me off that I couldn't think of your name. Okay, that's everybody. Yes, please like the video, you guys. But that's pretty much it. Yeah. You guys make an enemy out of things without giving reason. And you pretend like you have a reason, but you guys really don't have a reason, like to be attacking these legitimate clinical terms and valid clinical terms. I hope y'all know that same Gen 11 is a clinical term, okay? That was created by actual doctor, qualified to do it. His name is Cleo Manada, okay? Yeah, so no one has to be limited and restricted. Like if you think like people should work with the least certain demographics, yeah, you don't have to police that. Like that's a whole waste of time. A lot of you guys who question it, I mean, I haven't heard any good reason to question it, but a lot of you guys who question it are the irrational ones. Yeah, like, and I'm not gonna bite my tongue to say that. Like when you're out there, you're wasting your time. Like it's like a practice in futility. Yeah, like attacking legitimate clinical terms that other people choose to identify themselves by. Not that they identify you by, but that other people choose to. And when it comes to male homosexuals, you guys got a lot going on. You guys got a lot going on, okay, with the hypocrisy. But yeah, and I see it all the time. And it's like you're making an issue where there isn't one. So what is the real issue? Like where is this rule that homosexual males must identify as gay? And if they prefer any other synonymous sexual labeling or descriptor that means the same as gay, that they're ashamed of being gay. Where did that come from? No one explains this. And I see it all the time. And it happens to be a content creator who I got it from, just in order to have content and to bring you guys over here. But a lot of that type of irrational thought is among the subscribers. You know, I often see them in powwows, thinking that they're talking about something. Like, I'm serious. Like, you would think that they're thinking they're imparting something intelligent, and they're not. It's the opposite of intelligence. Especially when you're not providing reason. It's just like, oh no, like if I gather a crowd, if we, yeah, like a gang or a powwow that's large enough, just to agree with me without reason, then I'm winning. It's like, no, like I see you, you're losing. Truly, truly you are. If you're not making sense, you're losing. And on this channel, this is the channel where we make sense out of nonsense. Okay? The other thing, to that female, you're not in the B sector, but I see you. No, that's my channel mission. That's been in my descriptor box on my channel forever. This is the channel, how do I put it? Where truths are so blunt, you can smoke it. I see you got there's some chick from one of them other damn sectors, you know, that kind of cross over into the B sector, the hell or the Mo 3, or then they get the Mo 3 B. Look, I don't know quite where she belongs and shit like that, but like now on her vibe, she has this little my shit there, but she put a little like twist on it, but it's not enough of a twist. Like, it sounds like you're saying truths are so blunt that you can smoke it, but you got that from me, dear. You know, so I won't point that out. Like, that's because you put it up on your StreamYard like it's some fucking anthem. You borrowed it from me. You got that from me. Like, that's it. That's all. You guys got to be not ashamed to say that. Like, shit that I get from other people, I simply put it out there. Okay, shout out to so and so. Shout out to Tracy. You know, you guys go take your motherfucking missions and shit like that. I can't have shit. And yes, that does come from me. Okay, you can say I coined that. Okay, and you said your subscribers are so something so blunt you can smoke it. Like, that shit is tired. That shit is so tired. Did never even say hello to me. You guys, y'all don't mind doing that. Y'all ain't too proud to steal and shit like that. But that's okay. That is so fucking okay. Yeah, you just read my mind. About what? Let me see, Laurie. Let me see what Laurie said. How are you? She said, yes, I am good. Just taking a break. Good. Okay. Because I was not getting a good feeling. But I haven't been feeling too good anyhow. But it's good to be back. And I wanted to put this out there, this address. I wanted to speak on it because I'm like, okay, here we go with another same gender loving attack. Also, it was in the hopes too that I would run into Benzone, because I believe that Benzone is the one. But I can remember speaking about this months ago, and Benzone saying, "Oh, I didn't know that people over here grieve over that and have like these passionate concerns about the same gender loving label." And I'm like, yeah, like it's commonplace. You guys just have to be in the right spots. But these people, like, they come in, and you would really think that they're talking about something. You would think that they're talking about some invalid term or something. And then, like, when you find out it's same gender loving, you're like, oh, that's plentiful. These people need to get over themselves about unpopular terms that they aren't familiar. I can remember when I brought it to the sector, people were telling me it was new, and I had to date it for them. What's the person name? Bubbles. Bubbles recently tried to give me the date in which it came about. But Bubbles, you learned that from me. I'm like, you're preaching to the choir. Like, I put that all out. I can remember the conversation that started with Smiley, okay, the dude with the one eye, okay, yeah, that one eye for it. Let's see, about, and, oh yeah, and even then people were telling me I was lying and that I made it up. I like, And because like I was in the position of a content creator, I couldn't just bring it, you know, bring it to film, bring it to video. Okay. So I'm not gonna lie, like being a content creator and knowing how to do that, it's a piece of power to shut down a lot of the lies. Like, and it's a lot of narratives, you guys, and popular. You know, you can't even say it's the minority. Like, some people honestly find the lie more important than the truth. Don't forget that. Right? Some people are on that shit all day. And the truth is actually their kryptonite. Okay, that's the shit they cry and whine about when the truth is brought out. Let's see, because it says light. It says lights on the dark. Let's get it. Um, about people, yeah, congregating dogs. Yeah, they get together in their little powwows. Okay, and it's just like, yeah, like, but it just means that it's it's popular. It doesn't mean that what you're saying is correct. Like people got to know that, but some people feel so secure about a crowd, and it's just like, but don't you know, like people on the spectrum, like when they're in their element, like when they're in school, like their peers and people around them, to like those numbers, you know, like yeah, like they still represent other people on the spectrum. So that's the whole idea. Like, so yeah, like you can get, yeah, like it doesn't validate the argument. That's what the reason. I don't even care about like how many people is part of your powwow and who say that with you. I just want to know the reason behind it. And if you can't come that way with me, you ain't really saying nothing, you know. And that's why I'm not so popular. Yeah, because logic, at the end of the day, the truth and logic wins with me. Okay. Yeah, like I'm not caught up in a lot of you guys like that. It's just what it is. It really shouldn't matter to other people how another person wants to identify themselves. Exactly. You know, and I even heard people like checking, and I had brought this up with the same gender loving, and there was someone that identified that way. I think it was maybe Pastor they was talking about, and they said, "Well, have you ever heard him say gay?" And let me just say this, like, my thoughts on Pastor, like he is gay as they come, like, um, and my shit is different than some people because the way some people tell, like when they first learned of him, they say that he was bisexual. No, my story don't go that way. When I first learned of him, I'm gonna say that he was projecting that he was heterosexual. This is my story. You don't have to say that you are. This is what he was projecting. He wasn't even projecting bisexuality. You see what I'm saying? Like, no, like he was on here like projecting to be hetero. But once Wally catfished him to get ahead of it because he knew that Wally was going to come here to the B sector and expose him about it. So to get ahead of it, that's when he made that address. But he was already on here quietly projecting heterosexuality, okay, and flirting with women, like before Wally even did that enter. So in order to get ahead of it, he went a notch down the hierarchy. And rather than saying that he was same gender loving, because he learned that phrase from me, so he didn't have that phrase, but rather than saying that he was gay or homosexual, he said that he was bi, in my opinion, because he thought that that would cushion the hit. What hit? The hit of the stigma. What stigma, y'all, man? The stigma of being non-heterosexual. That stigma. So that's when he told you guys that he was bisexual. And to me, like his personality on camera changed. Because like when I would look back at those, I'm talking about the Jay Wilcox page, you guys, like before the whole passer persona. Like, dude was trying to project heterosexuality, and no, the conversation never came into. I didn't want to lead with my sexuality. Yeah, but you could have came, but that also includes you coming up on here and being yourself. And the persona that we see today of you is closer to yourself. The only difference is you curb your cursing. They say you cuss like a fucking seller in real life. They say your mouth is nasty. And coming from a one room trailer park, okay, a trailer house, okay, with 9 bastards up in there running them up. You know, I can see where you get that nasty mouth from. Okay, fuck they talk about. They got me fucked up. Like, what is he talking about? So yeah, like I see you too. Okay, and that's why you have me blocked. Okay, on both of my accounts, you can't take me. Okay, and if anything, it should have been naming it lubrication, not juicycation. Motherfucker dry and corroded. But it's about my time off here, you guys. I did my little fucking rant for one day. Same Ginger 11 SGL is legitimate. It's valid. It's valid for homosexual males to identify, and more each year, more and more black and brown homosexuals are. I mean, it is what it is. It was a time where gay wasn't the popular term, you know. And is it always about popularity, or is it about what suits you as an individual in terms of where you identify? And so long as you're not identifying in a way that's false, so long as you're not homosexual in some way trying to say that you're bi, and so long as you're not homosexual in some way trying to pull off that you're hetero, what's the issue? I swear, I think some of y'all want people to be in closets, especially black men, the ones that are honest and open. They give you a synonym for gay, um, even if it's homosexual. I remember when I was identifying for homosexual, someone tried to test me and say, "Why you don't say gay?" And I'm like, "Are you kidding?" Like, I'm like, you know, homosexual is a clinical term. So like, like you can't win. You cannot win or lose. Like none of this shit makes sense. You know, with these people. Yeah, like um, it's better to be perceived to be a fool than it is to open your mouth and remove all doubts. And that largely applies to a lot of the people who I come in on these. I oppose the term same gender love, which doesn't really make sense. So again, I'm attacking the idea and those people who make an enemy out of these descriptors that are available, like for men who are homosexuals to identify as. Like that's very oppressive. And it's a waste of time. You know I'm not gonna let nobody in the B sector or anywhere and like affect how I identify myself. So long as I'm identifying truthfully and telling you that my attraction goes to the same gender, I don't understand what the issue is and why people are making poking enemy and making an enemy out of these terms. You know, it feels very oppressive. You know, and it feels like y'all need a life quick. But that's it, and that's all. So yeah, I'm again, Pass is not my favorite at all. Like, um, so it's the idea that I'm protecting. Yeah, and the choice. Yeah, like that option is there for homosexuals. Um, some people may never get out of the closet because it's not easy coming out and being open and real and walking in your truth about who you are. And maybe same gender loving is the only label that a particular person may feel comfortable identifying that. You know, so think about that. So I'd rather have them out open and truthfully identifying than being closeted because they may not want to say gay. If that is the case, I think it's silly to assume that that is the case with people who identify same gender loving, especially when they're like myself and who identify by all. But I definitely prefer SGL same gender loving. That's my preference. Okay. Now who gonna check me? That's the question. Like who got the time to check me on this? Like who gonna check me about this? You know, clearly, and a lot of you guys are hypocrites. Y'all listen to women who y'all know in their adult life carry on sexual encounters with other women of the same sex. Y'all know these things and relationships, not just the sex and relationships. But y'all hear them say that they're hetero, and y'all never jump in and say shit. Y'all better get the fuck out of my face. That's it. That's all. I'm about to hop off here. Thank you guys so much for dropping. Then you guys, please like the video, and if you aren't subscribed to my channel, please subscribe. Let me look in the chat. Southern Belle, it's good to see you. I don't see you as much as I used to in the past. I hope that you are sub to my channel. Thank you so much. I hope I see you more. Okay. I remember we used to bust it up. Oh, and Claude, something I was gonna say to Claudia. Damn, I can't even remember. All right, but I'm gonna catch up with you guys. Thanks so much for dropping in and keeping me company. All right. Please do share the video. The more shares, it helps my videos get recommended. And like the video, thumb it up. And subscribe to the channel, ring the bell to receive prompt notification.